Good morning, viewers from wherever you're watching us from. It's always good to be back in this platform and di leen dalalat ci beneen edition of this morning program. Di leen wax ne ñu ngi baalu ñu leen naa baalal aaxa te tamit ñu ngi saxu ñu leen naa wax ne ngeen baalal ñu aaxa ñu nit baalal nañ leen ci julli bi because this is the first edition since after julli bi. Sanse nice na mashallah. Fu waay munti nekk rek ci biir réew mi ak ci bitim réew. This is the this morning program boo xam ne daal fii lañ dee andi yëpp. The most interesting platform see QTV fii lañ dee wax ye politics dañ dee wax fi women in STEM dañ dee wax about agriculture, everything that has to do with everything. So it's always good to be back. Tey moom man maa jël place Balde baalal ma rek waa xam naa léegi tey rek mu dellu si waat dellu si place am bi man it ma dellu suma place bi ndaxte man koona boobu noonu kenn du ko jël suma loxo. So this morning, I am joined by my grandpa, my grandpa, Mr. Mboje, and my wonderful neighbor, Momodo Lamin Choi. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Julie. It's a pleasure for me to be here on This Morning program to share the same platform with Mr. Mboje also.
Grandpa, good morning.
Yes. Can you imagine introducing me as Mr. Mboge?
Mboge, yes.
Yes, I'm like a granddad. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Yes, Jules. So it's like I've taken your place then. Since you've taken Baldo's place, now I've taken your place.
Yeah.
So we'll see how we steer this ship this morning.
Comme Baba Nyankumo Lungwa. Dama la abal nga toog suma place waxuma nga jël suma position nay leer jul de bëggul leen dem comme nuñ ko dee baaxoo de defee rek saa su ne rek si this morning platform bi dañoo we have our African proverb and we will delve into it, bring you divergent opinions about the proverb, and also we have our newspaper review, and our newspaper review guest is no other than Momodo Lamin Choi, our own Choi international journalist, and we are expecting to have Bintu Trawale here, who is the only trained orthopedic technician in the Gambia, and we are also expected to have women in STEM in the Gambia. They play a very important role. Over the years, we've seen that a lot of the, this field is male dominated, but we've seen that now a lot of women, especially young people, are, coming on board to actually partake in this very important field, which is STEM. We will be discussing with them to take us through their journeys. What does it really take to, be part of this very complicated and male-dominated sector? These and others coming ahead on this morning platform. So do stay tuned and don't go away. So, Mr. Mboje, we will just head straight to the program and take us through African proverb.
Here, what have we? The battle of grasshoppers is a feast for the hawks.
Interesting one there, like always. So I will allow our guests to go first.
That's grasshoppers. So, Mr. Choi, what do you think about that? Hawks feasting on grasshoppers.
Yes, in the battle of grasshoppers, for me it depends on the number of grasshoppers. Okay, if there are many, if we have as many grasshoppers as possible, I don't think a hawk can enjoy that event as a feast. It depends on the numbers. If there are two, of course, it becomes a feast for the hawk. That is my interpretation. So what it is all about is strength in unity. Okay, if they are united as as one, but when there's a battle, because unity, in the absence of unity, there is weakness, and the battle also will be a sign of weakness that the powerful can take advantage of. Okay, so that's why in the beginning I said it depends on the number of grasshoppers involved in this case. But no matter whatever the circumstance is, when there is unity, there is strength. But the weakness of the grasshoppers could be an advantage. The weakness of the grasshoppers could be an advantage for the powerful hawk who can use it as, as an opportunity, to party and enjoy.
Yes. Well,
Interesting one there.
United, we stand.
And divided we fall.
So what your take now?
I'm coming last. You always know that.
You have to come last. Absolutely. Choi, you are right. I think here really what it's talking about is any group, perhaps even the individual. You need to focus on what is important. Otherwise, I will open myself up, as it were, to all potential abuse.
Abuse, yeah.
You know what I mean? And here, imagine sort of like grasshoppers. They're really very small. One to one with a hawk.
Yeah.
There's no contest. See, sometimes you find yourself in situations where you have to come as a group. Hence, perhaps the grasshoppers. You are the minnows. You know what I mean? Then that's where you derive your strength. But imagine a group, even a nation. You are busy bickering over, especially what they call small differences. Then you've missed the bigger threat. Isn't it? That's really it. You've missed the bigger threat. You're seeing it around. I will let you come in, but we'll come back to it. Now we have this term called summiteering. Africa, everybody is coming
Scramble
over.
For Africa.
That's it. But we don't seem to have a unified narrative. Hence, the hawks are coming. Everybody is coming up now with whatever Africa Summit. What do they want? The minerals. So in a sense, we are being like the grasshoppers. So if you do not come together, if you keep fighting amongst yourselves, the hawks are hovering all over the place. It's just extraordinary. This is a very good.
It is.
This is a very good proverb.
Absolutely. And when I saw the proverb, my mind reflected back on our yesterday's story, which you just mentioned. That there is a huge scramble for Africa. But as Africans, what are we really doing about that? We know that they are interested in us, in our minerals, in our natural resources. But if you're not unified, at the end of the day, we will not be able to tap into, some of these things, natural resources that we have as a continent. And that is what we see happening right now. A lot of people are coming. They tend to see a lot of things that are in our continent, but we don't tend to see it ourselves. We don't tend to appreciate it. We are just busy on things that are not of importance. As a result, they are also busy tapping, exploiting, like the usual. So it's important really to focus on the most important things in life, and it's everywhere. When you focus, when you're divided, you allow other people to get in, and then they interfere, and they are busy destroying. Whilst you're busy disputing, you're busy really fighting one another, the others are also on the other side busy really tapping, exploiting, and taking advantage of the situation. There are always scenarios like that where people always take advantage of the situation. But whatever something arises, it's good to focus on the most important thing. Don't let the situation carry you along with it. That is what I have been saying. Like, whatever the case is, don't be carried away by this. Don't let it take you away. Be yourself. Okay, be assertive. Whatever it is, it's just a passing cloud. They're a passing storm, and they will go. But don't let it take you away, because the moment you're taking away, it's a problem to come back to yourself. If you're not strong enough, if you don't have the self-esteem really, if you're mentally not strong, it's always difficult to come back.
Yes, so when small nations or weak nations or poor nations fight among themselves, as sometimes is the case for the African continent, division, brings about discord and, conflicts all around. At the end of the day, the rich nations tend to benefit, because most of the military equipment, we use, to fight each other. There's an industry, in developed nations
producing
that is, taking the advantage. Looking at the, the Russia-Ukraine, conflict, the Sudan conflict, in Africa here. There are other, conflicts on the continent which
Israel, Palestine.
Multinational, corporations are taking advantage of, for development, especially in the developed, in the developed countries. So a fight between or among weak nations would always be an advantage for the, for the powerful one, because their industries tend to benefit, and that also gears the development prospects of those countries forward, and taking, backsliding us deeper into poverty and, trials and tribulations that we have been facing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. Come look over here. This is the reason why we bring up these proverbs. It's a food for thought, like Mr. Boj will always say. It's important for us to really delve into some of these things and then analyze it critically. And this is what we're saying. It's a good one. Finally, before we move on, Mr. Boj, do you have anything to add?
He wanted to say something. I saw him opening his mouth.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
no, because with me, with these things, then I start interrogating them. I like interrogating stuff like this. Then I'll begin to ask, yes, we're talking about all these problems there, but what are the barriers to unity? Because one wants to be a good citizen. There's something that one must do, isn't it? So you have to go to the details now. What are some of the reasons why one is not achieving this, one is not achieving that? So I think that's all part of the process, as it were. The process of independence, if you know what I mean. People thought that it was just a single act. You do it, get your flag and salute and do your national anthem, and that's it. But now we're realizing that it's a whole process of doing this trial and error. In many ways, nobody really gets all the facts, and that sort of thing. So perhaps when we realize some of these barriers and why they're there, then perhaps you can do something about it. But now we are beginning to realize that without that, you're perpetual prey to the hawks.
Interesting. So those are some of the interpretations here. I'm sure that the viewers also have their own interpretation of the proverb, but it is what it is. So we just head straight to the newspapers. I can see Foroya, The Point, Standard newspaper, and there are very interesting headlines. One that really got my attention is the fact that hundreds died during Hajj amid intense heat. This goes to show that last time we were talking about the impact of climate change, and the fact that it is real. It's everywhere, even in the holy city of Mecca. It is everywhere. But before we really delve into this newspaper review, we will go for a short commercial break. When we return, the program continues, so stay tuned.
QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sinubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is QTV This Morning program with me, Julde Njai, and I have my co-host Momodu Mboj and our newspaper review guest Momodu Lamin Choi. Thank you very much for staying with us. Like I was saying before we go into that short commercial break, one thing that really got me this morning is the fact that 100 people died while performing the Hajj 2024, which is due to extreme heat. just goes to say that climate change is real, and people really, it requires concerted efforts, you know, by everyone to really tackle some of these things. For the past few years, who would have thought that hundreds of people would die while performing Hajj? Mecca right now, the temperature is around 51 point something degrees Celsius, so that is really alarming, Nebo.
Yes, yes, indeed. This is not the first time people, you know, are dying in the course of Hajj. Of course, you know, it happens. It will be interesting for us to find out what the, you know, the previous figures were and do a comparison to understand what is the cause. People travel to Mecca, and that's why usually before they travel they do some health, you know, checks, you know, checkups, which is important to understand their physical and mental state of being before they can embark on this journey of a lifetime. Some may also travel with underlying health conditions. Okay, Africa, of course, you know, has a tropical weather. You go to Saudi, extreme heat, which is something that many of us are not used to, although many Africans would be able to withstand, you know, the heat in Saudi. So somehow maybe some of them traveled with underlying health conditions, but not to, you know, yes, something that is worth highlighting here is that heat stroke can also claim the life of, you know, claim the life of people.
Which we've seen, really.
Yes, yes. So there might be some of those who died, you know, as a result of heat stroke, but also as a result of other, you know, other complications. There might be some underlying health conditions.
According to even reports that majority of the people who died actually embarked on this irregular means of, you know, going to Hajj. And, you know, the problem with that is that you're not catered for by the Saudi authorities. And, you know, we know that the heat is there, but if you go through the proper channel, the proper route, at least you will be catered for. Electricity, you will have access to some of these amenities and all of that. But if that is not
only that, not only that, if you travel to Mecca through irregular means, it means you didn't pass through, you know, some checks, you know, including your, you know, your health status to understand whether you are fit for it or not. I'm not sure whether people, you know, able to travel to Mecca through irregular means, you know, given the, you know, the progress that that country, you know, has gone in terms of, you know, securing its borders. I'm not sure if you know, if something like that will happen in, you know, in present times. So, you know, it is important for us to understand what are the, you know, several factors that is leading to this. But of course, one would also understand that, you know, the world is facing, you know, difficult, you know, situation as a result of climate change. Not only the animals are, you know, are facing, you know, the consequences of climate change, you know, the shocks, but also affecting, you know, human beings, their lives and livelihoods, claiming lives.
Absolutely. Earlier when you said the place was holy, I said, of course, but unfortunately the humans are just all too human. Over the years, we've seen one kind of accident or not. During the Hajj, there was a period, I can't remember the year now, but there was a stampede. A lot of people died. And really, when you think about it, as I said, we're just human, all too human. Statistically, every year you have millions, isn't that at least 2 million, isn't it, or so or more, congregating. Once in a while, unfortunate things will happen. That is just simple statistics over a long period. It's just the nature of the human being, which isn't to be complacent. I think perhaps this is the first time I've heard about the heat stroke element. You know what I mean? So climate change angle comes into it. So when we look at the figures, you know, the records, we might see early examples. But this is it. This has happened. And I've heard that one Gambian was...
Yes.
One Gambian died, did it? So we mourn them. We understand really the situation. Oh, but it's just so bitterly painful. Yet you know that sometimes these things do happen. So we'll keep on saying, oh, if they could have done this, if one could have done that, you know what I mean? We can run all these scenarios, you know, these alternative histories.
Yeah.
But perhaps it's just to face, how can I call it, the brutality of the situation with grace and just move on.
Absolutely. For me, it got me worried when I went to Kodang 2 weeks ago, last week actually, and you know, I saw the number of bushfires I saw on the way. Like, I recorded some of them. It was really alarming. I was really shocked to see that, you know, how empty the forest was, and the number of bushfires I saw, you know, on the way from Banjul going all the way to Kodang. So really, I think people really ought to see these things as it is. Climate change is real, and if we cannot really take measures to really tackle it at an earlier stage, really, we might find ourselves in situations that are very delicate to really deal with. And it left me saying, like, what are people really doing about these things at the community level, you know, at the local government level, at the central government level? We are really taking these things lightly. And that goes to say, when I was going, everybody was warning me, that place is too hot. The heat there is extremely, you know, hot. We put on our AC and the fan, but it was still very, very hot. So I was like, okay, this really justified it. You know, there were not enough trees to actually cool down the situation. So really, I'm appealing to each and everyone out there. Let us take these things seriously. Let us stop cutting down the trees. Let us plant more trees. Climate change is real. We cannot say that here, sit around and say that it's really hot, and when we are every day busy cutting down the trees and we are not really replanting them. So really, I think this is something that we should all take note of. Mr. Bush, I saw you have another paper there. The Standard.
Yes, yes, this is the Standard. On the front page, police used live ammunition in the Fass Njaga Choi shooting. Fass Njaga Choi, that's quite close to home.
Close to home.
Yeah.
That's my home.
That's your home, isn't
village.
it?
Yes, I read this story earlier this week or during the weekend. You know, the police are reporting that incident. But what I can say here is, you know, some years, few years back, last year or 2022, and some years back also, you know, yes, we registered some armed robberies, you know, in Fass. Okay, especially around the, you know, around the commercial area where we have, you know, the bigger shops, the Mauritanian shops, and where the Lumo also happens. You know, those are usually, you know, the regular points of attack by armed robbers, and you know, we witnessed that. Leading to, you know, armed robbers going up, you know, breaking into these shops and, you know, stealing a lot of, you know, cash and, you know, commercial goods. So this was a, you know, a big concern. And the most recent one being, you know, an armed robber attacking a police, you know, a police officer who was shot, you know, I cannot remember, you know, in the hand or, you know, on his body, and he was, you know, taken to the hospital. So subsequently, the police had to, you know, institute a, you know, a checkpoint around that area, you know, where is the regular target of armed robbers. So there is a checkpoint right now, throughout 24/7. The checkpoint is there. So the guy, you know, came there and, you know, had a bag in his possession, and the police wanted to stop him to find out. It was around 3-4, between 3-4 a.m. So based on suspicion, the police stopped him, asked him to stop, but he didn't want to stop. And that, you know, raises, you know, alert for the police, you know, to be on a higher suspicion. Why is this guy here at this particular time, and he's also carrying a bag? So they asked him to stop, and, you know, he didn't. He was running away and pursued by the police according to the police report,
Report,
you
yeah.
know, he was fired a shot on his, you know, on his buttocks, you know, and because of that, yeah, you know, an incident happened there. But here, what is important is whether the police used reasonable force. Was it reasonable to, you know, to fire, you know, to fire the suspect, you know? Was it reasonable? So this is the thing when it goes to the courts. You know, if it goes to the courts, if the, you know, if the victim or the suspect in this case takes the matter to the, you know, the court, you know, the police will have to prove whether it was a reasonable use of force, you know, or not, in order to determine whether it, you know, it was legal or, you know, or not legal. So this was, you know, the case that happened in Fass recently.
That's, you see, for me, that is one angle. For me, the other angle is, did you grow up in Fass Njaga Choi? You spent some time there.
Yes,
when
yes,
you were
sometime.
young.
Yes, yes.
Did you ever hear about this sort of thing when you were growing up?
Not at, you know, at the level it is now. Armed robberies, really, because Fass is very close to the border, and the police is very, you know, concerned of the fact that, you know, people are, you know, entering, you know, the borders through irregular means, and, you know, this, you know, the world is now, you know, developing, you know, the country, globalization and all of that having an impact. But trans-border crimes are, you know, on the rise around that area, according to the police.
Oh, absolutely. So now we do face a new reality in many ways. You know what I mean? There's what they call the decline of deference. You're going to have this generation of younger people. There are just so many young people here today. For some of us of a certain age, we wonder, man, this is strange. We've never seen this before. You know, 65% or more of our population under 25. Of course, you will have that, what they call the youth dividend. You're going to have some that were going to do brilliant things. But the underbelly of it, as they call it, let's be prepared for that as well. So with me, rather than thinking about whether the police used reasonable force, I'm like, have we armed them enough? I may sound like a right-wing kind of person, yes, but for me, I'm talking about how do I empower the police in the way that they're going to have to deal with this, because this is a reality. It is going to happen,
and it's
so you better prepare for it.
The situation, it's not new. Like Choi mentioned, is it last year? Earlier last year, a similar situation happened where a police officer was shot, and you know, and we've seen the issue of the incident in Sukuta too. Traffic light. So it's not a new thing. You know, it has been ongoing. And if, you know, we did not take measures to really address some of these things, it might escalate to something that
I just wanted to address that point Mr. Mboj has just highlighted. There's another angle to it. Are we arming them enough? You know, I traveled to Basse, and I, you know, sorry to say, you know, I met some PIU officers who were on a guard post, you know, for security reasons. I'll not mention exactly, because yeah, just to shield their identity. You know, I had a conversation with these PIU officers, and they, you know, they gave me accounts of their experience there. One, the area that they are guarding is not secured. Sometimes, you know, is according to them, is heavily infested with you know, with snakes, you know, scorpions at night, you know. Sometimes, you know, for safety reasons, really they've been going through hardship. And also, secondly, it's an area that is isolated. It's on, you know, it's an isolated area. They could be attacked. And I was only one of them who had a rifle, one, at that checkpoint, one person. And they told me, if we are, you know, attacked by, you know, a group of armed robbers, in fact, they are deployed there because of, you know, as a result of some major incidents, you know, that happened there. And because of that, the police had to deploy. But can you imagine, only one of them had a rifle. So if they are attacked, what is going to happen? Their lives also
and most of these
will be,
armed robbers,
at risk. Yes, it will be at risk. So a group of armed, you know, armed men, let's say 5 of them, can take care of, you know, can really deal with a group of PIU officers with only one person having a rifle. So this is a problem.
Absolutely. We just have to be glad, really. Thank God that we've had a few examples but generally we don't have that many armed robbery, relatively, when you compare us to other nations. When it comes to armed robbery, so let's keep the context right. You know what I mean? We are not about to be overwhelmed by this menace. We don't want to sound alarmist. That is not our job. So, but yet we must concede that perhaps recently some of us of a certain age have sort of noticed that we are having more examples of murders. I remember maybe, I don't know, every 2 years you'll hear of one. It becomes the notorious cause célèbre kind of thing. But now, in the year, oh, haven't you heard? Somebody was killed at Kololi, somebody else at Brisbane, this one killed. It's a bit so frequent now, much more.
Yeah, the world is so
it's a new demographic. We had a different world now. Exposure comes from everywhere. Before, it was just your neighborhood. I mean, if you could read, you know, if you're a reader, you read and imagine it if you transport yourself elsewhere. Otherwise, it's just what you knew.
That should be that should be the basis for our security, officers to be armed enough so that they will able to provide, security that we require. To be honest with you, if not, with the new trend of things, we're not saying it's on the rise. We're just reporting, some incidents that are occurring, and which really, are bringing, some indications for, the need to arm our security officers so that they will be able to discharge their functions as expected of them. The case I have just provided right now is a clear example. An incident happened there. Major incident of robbery. They are deployed, but not armed. So what is the purpose?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mamadou Lamin Choi, for reviewing some of the papers with us. Viewers, we will take a short commercial break. When we return, the program continues.
Internet for your free videos, pictures, chats, work and school projects? Think free night browsing. QCell's free night browsing lets you browse the internet for free. Oh yeah. Get a data SIM, recharge a minimum of $500 and enjoy free browsing after 24 hours from midnight to 6 a.m. every night for 30 days. QCell, Sunyubus. We innovate, others follow. It's happy time. Get 50% off all calls to any network. Enjoy calls every day to any network from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Is it too good to be true? QCell. We innovate, others follow. As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, the Gambia's trusted network. QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Get a QCell SIM card for free. Yes, absolutely free. Walk into any of our customer care centers and get a SIM free of charge. With a QCell SIM card, you can get the fastest and the most reliable internet plus wide range of amazing services. So rush now to any of our care centers and get a free SIM now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell Sunyubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you been looking for the perfect indoor router with long-range Wi-Fi coverage and faster internet speed connecting all your smart devices? Well, we present to you the QCell Indoor Router, a router that has all you need and much more. For just $4,275, you can get 4G plus internet speed, wide coverage, and connect up to 15 devices. And that's not all. The indoor router can be used for both office and home needs. So, enhance your internet experience with our indoor router. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus, we innovate, others follow.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Welcome back. Now we are going to another segment of this program, which is with STEM-a-thon. Women in STEM, they play a very pivotal role as far as Gambia's development is concerned. And I have here Kodu Jeng, who is the president and and founder Women in STEM Gambia. Kodu completed her senior secondary school with a major in science in 1999. She also pursued a diploma in telecommunications and electronic engineering, graduated with a distinction in 2002. And also in the studios with me, I have Yajanke Jan, who happens to have a 15 years experience in research on understanding immune response on infections and vaccination, especially in young children. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning.
And welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Thank you. So I will start with Kodu. Take us through your journey to becoming a telecommunications and engineering expert.
Okay, as you rightly said, my name is Kodu Jeng, and I started my education in St. Peter's. And
wow,
yeah,
our mighty St. Peter's.
Yes, the St. Peter's product. So in 1999, I completed my grade 12. Then from there, I enrolled with GTTI for a diploma. No, a certificate in electronic servicing. Then after GTMI, I moved to GTTI. I moved to GTMI. At GTMI, I had a diploma in telecommunication engineering. So that was when the company hired me as transmission engineer at Gamtel. So from there, I worked with Gamtel for 8 years and moved to the rank of senior engineer. So in 2010, I was moved to Gamtel to head the transmission team as manager. From there, I traveled to Ghana for my bachelor's degree in telecommunication engineering. I can remember we were 7 from Gamtel, and that was the first batch of Gambians in that private university. Wow. And among the 7, I was the only lady in the team. So in Ghana, we did our diploma, bachelor's degree, and we all graduated with honors. The whole 7 from Gambia is between first class and second class upper. Then from there, we had time to stay in Ghana before coming back, because we had to wait for our graduation. Okay. So in Ghana, I did another program because I had 2 months. I decided to do my certificate program in project management. And apart from that, I have other trainings. Like the fiber optic, I was trained in the UK by United Kingdom Telecoms Academy. And I had another training in India, and that was in IP networks and advanced routing technologies and voice over IP. And I traveled to India again and had another training in it was in, if I can remember, project management again. Yes, project management again. So, and in China, we had our 3G training that was sponsored by Gamtel. So these are some of the courses I did in and outside the Gambia.
That's a wealth of experience there. What really inspired you in 1999? It's a long time ago.
Yes.
Not many people or women who are in STEM.
Yes, I can fully remember. By then, Auntie Aissatou was working for Gamtel. There were a few ladies in that company by then. So when I completed my grade 12, and I had some time before starting the course at GTTI. So my elder brother was a telecommunication engineer. So I started reading his books. He normally brings home the manuals. So when I have time, I was used to reading. So I started reading his books. And one day he asked me, amongst our family, we are the only two who had a degree. So he asked me, what do you want to be in the future? Because I was one of the best students in my school in St. Peter's, I can remember. And he asked, when he asked, I told him that I want to do what you're doing. He said, are you sure you can do this? I said, yes. Wow. So he tested me. He asked few questions about fiber optic engineering, and I answered the questions. That was how I started.
Wow.
And he left for the US, and I happened to be in the same office he was working at. That is at Gamtel Transmission Fiber.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really an interesting experience there. So we'll just go straight to Janke. The same applies to you. What really inspired you? Take us through your journey.
So I did my school in junior high school that was comprehensive, middle and high school. I finished and went straight into University of the Gambia. Did my first degree in biology, major in biology, and then minor in chemistry. Once I completed, I decided that I wanted to go and seek work experience. So I went to MRC in 2008. I started as a trainee scientific officer, and from there, I'm now a senior research associate. Within that time, I was with MRC for 15 years. I've done my master's degree at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine on immunology of infectious diseases, just trying to understand the immune responses to diseases. I came back home, and then after a couple of years, I think of the 3-4 years, I started my PhD journey. I did that part-time because I had kids. I've got 2 kids. So imagine having to do that with a PhD. So I didn't do full-time, I did part-time. I finished my PhD last year with the Open University UK. And now I am still with MRC working as a senior research associate.
I wonder now, but what took you in that direction? Can you remember?
I've always
really
wanted
why the sciences?
I've always wanted to be in the sciences. I think growing up, I saw my grandmother not feeling well. I initially wanted to be a medical doctor, and everybody encouraged me to be a medical doctor. I started med school the first year. It's basically pre-med. We all do the same courses as a biology course, and then I just couldn't. I was scared. I was scared of the dead body. That's basically it. My friends will tell you it's the dead body that I was scared of. I couldn't, in as much as I wanted to help the sick people, it's very difficult to me to see somebody throw up and not throw up, even though I'm not sick. So I thought the best thing to do was to go into research, and I haven't regretted my choice.
Wow.
It's a very fulfilling career for me, and I'm happy with what I'm doing, because without the researcher, the doctor wouldn't be able to know exactly what's going on. So we work hand in hand.
Yeah, coming back to you, Kodo, you founded Women in STEM Gambia. Why? What really motivated you to found such an organization?
Yes, as I earlier mentioned, we were very few within the technical department in Gamtel back then. I can remember it was myself, Marinjai, Halimatu Jaite, and Auntie Aissatou. I think those are the few we had at then. So, and I also realized that we are contributing to that company. And also when you go out, people will tell you that it's a difficult choice, it's a difficult area for women. You won't be able to work in these areas. And these are things that can easily develop any country in the world.
Absolutely.
Yes,
no
it can
doubt.
easily develop the country. So I realized that we have so much untapped resources, people who can contribute to the development of the Gambia and they are not exploited. So that was when I spoke to one of my friends. She's a student. She was a student in Ghana when I was studying there in Nyimajawate. Then I told her that I wanted to start something. But as you know, Namadi Rus. So how say yes. So she said, yes, anytime you're ready. It took me, I think, 2 years before I started with STEM after graduating. So there was this day that I called her and I explained. She said, yes, this is a good idea. We can start. Then we contacted other 5 people. We started as 6.
Okay.
Now, the last time I counted, it was 1,350 people that we are working with. That includes students and professionals. And alhamdulillah, things are moving as expected. Yeah.
That's great. So we, okay.
You're going to do something. There's just something I want to ask you very, very quickly. And when I look at both of your experiences, it seemed pretty easy. When you were younger, you were just reading books. Your brother was doing something and you were reading books. And then you were interested in it, then you were encouraged. It just happened. There were no impediments, as it were, in your way. Likewise with you. As far back as you can remember, you wanted to do this sort of thing, science,
and again, you know,
and it just happened.
Yeah.
So then I wonder, when you look at the field, why so few of you out there?
I think
stereotype.
I think for me, it's lack of mentorship and the guidance, and this is what we want to break. This is where wisdom is coming in. We want to get them young. We want to look at these girls and tell them we can do it. You can do it. We didn't have a lot of women to look up to, because we had our mothers. We had a few women, as Cody mentioned, a few women that were brave enough to say, I am going to university. I am going to do this, despite all odds.
Amazing.
You know, so I think mentorship is very, very key.
It is.
In allowing these young girls to make the right decision. It's very good to see somebody you look up to and somebody you relate to in your own context. To be able to do something like this. And this is what we want to do with these young girls.
What you want to do. So let's now head straight to the competition. You know, it started on the 1st of June.
Yes.
Tell us how you guys went about the competition.
I will just speak briefly about the competition. She's the chief judge.
Yes.
She will explain in detail. Okay, STEMathon is a reality TV show that we designed for the students. It comes in 2 phases. We have senior secondary and tertiary institutions. So with the senior secondary, we are on Fatu Network, and with the tertiary, we intend to do it with QTV. So students will come and pitch their projects. It encourages them to go and do a lot of research, which I am so passionate about, as Janke mentioned. So they have to do a research and pitch on a topic that is related to STEM, and that can solve a problem in the Gambia. That's what we are looking at with the senior secondary schools. But with the tertiary institution, the idea is for them to come up with something that can solve a problem in the whole world, not only Gambia. So students will come and pitch their projects, and we have judges who will gauge them. I think they had it very tough the last time when it comes to innovation. The judges were so passionate about that part. Yes, about that. It has to be an innovative idea. So when you look at this, it prompts the students to go back and read. They have been using their phone wrongly.
Which is dying down now, the culture of reading.
Yes, the students had the phone. It can make a great impact in their lives. But the way they were using it was wrong. So we want them to redirect their focus so that they will use the phones and make research and solve problems in the Gambia. Just look at what the girls are doing.
So before we go to the students to demonstrate some of the work that they've done, we're just going straight to Yajanke. Tell us how many schools participated and how was it like, really?
We have 8 schools?
7.
7 schools. Yeah. So we have 7 schools, and each of the schools have 2 projects. And the plan was that they were all going to present their first projects, and then we're going to drop some, because obviously they can't all go. They're all winners for being on that stage, but we have to choose a few that will go. Then after that session, we're going to have the second projects being presented, and from there we also choose others, and then we'll get final 3 projects that are going to compete for first, second, and third. Okay. And what we are going to judge these projects on, they include problem solving, as Corda said. We want problem solving projects. There's so much that we can do in our country, and we think science. We think STEM education will address it, and we think these are the girls that are going to do it. Yeah. And we look at innovation as well. It's very, very key that we incorporate innovation in this, because it allows them to think beyond the box, and we want them to be critical thinkers. We want them to be able to contribute effectively in society and outside as well. We look at feasibility of the projects that they're going to do. Is it going to be able, are they going to be able to implement this? Is it realistic? We look at the pitch quality. We want these girls to be able to be to stand out and speak. If you have the knowledge and you can't take it out, it's not helpful, right? Not really. We want them to be able to speak properly, to articulate their ideas and share what they have with others. We look at readiness as well, so that's the final aspect. And and we hope that we will be able to mold these young girls into future innovators one day.
Was it decentralized, or were you just focusing on the Greater Banjul?
So for this time around, we focus on the Greater Banjul, but as there are plans to expand this to other regions of the Gambia.
So let's now go straight to our girls. I can see beautiful work there. MashaAllah, nice natarab. So introduce yourself quickly and tell us what you do.
My name is Fass Njaga Choi, representative of Gambia Methodist Academy for the Wisdom chapter. I'm in 11S2, a science student, doing pure science right now.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
And you are?
I am Hadisilla, a student of Gambia Methodist Academy from 11S2 to a student doing science and pure science also.
MashaAllah. I can see that. What is that?
What is this? Or this?
Yes, that one, the small one.
It's a storage house.
Storage house?
Yeah.
Interesting. How about the big one?
It's
Master house.
This.
Okay.
It's a project here, and the project here is about renewable energy.
Renewable energy?
Yes, how it is going to benefit us in the Gambia, rather than relying on fossil fuel, which is going to affect us and our environment. So this project is a working model, actually.
Okay.
That is a hybrid system. This is a solar panel, and we also have a wind turbine.
Okay. Wow.
There's a turbine.
What is this make of, really?
The house?
Yeah.
Is actually, we call it recycling. Most of the things here are waste materials.
Okay.
We have this, you can see, is wood, and these are pipes, PVC pipes that we used, sellotapes, and we took some canvas and papers. These are already used materials that we wanted to reuse. Like, we don't want them to waste. You can see this is canned beef. When you open the canned beef, we use it to make the handle. So most of them here are waste materials that we use to make this model.
MashaAllah, this is really, really beautiful. How long does it really take you to make this?
It took us a long time, maybe like 3-4 weeks. Yeah, because we were informed prior. Maybe like it was some months back that we were told about the summerton, so we had to come up with something really innovative.
What inspired you, both of you, to really partake in this very important competition?
Okay. The summerton, when they told us about the summerton, and they wanted something innovative, something, they wanted us to think outside the box. Since it's about the Gambia, so we think that right now, we are using the generator and the fossil fuel, and we don't want that anymore, because we can see the greenhouse effect is really affecting us in this country, worldwide after all. So we wanted the government, NAWEC in particular, to maybe divert from using generators, which uses fuels. So we want them to maybe take the wind turbine and the solar panel into consideration because they are renewable energy. Like the solar panel, the sun we have free. It's plentiful.
It's free.
Yeah, it's free. We don't have to pay for it. We don't have to buy fuel for the sun. You can use the sunlight with the PVC cells inside the panel will convert it into electricity for us, and it is the maintenance is actually low. Like in a year you can maintain it, like maybe let's say 4 times in a year, which is different from the generator and the wind turbine too. The hybrid system there, one might ask, maybe during the rainy season the place become cloudy and there's no wind, so how do we get electricity during the rainy season? That's where the hybrid system comes in. It stores the energy from the electricity from both powers and then converts them. We have like inverters in the hybrid system, which is going to convert the power into electricity to generate electricity for our homes.
Mashallah, I am inspired, and honestly, I must say that I am optimistic about the future of this country to see these young, brilliant girls doing so well and thinking out of the box. So tell us, what really inspired you to join this competition?
Well, we can say the competition really is about empowering women.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that was what inspired me actually to join in, to give in like my thoughts, putting it into practical things to let the world see what we as young women can do also.
Was there any point that you thought, oh, I can't do this? Like you doubt yourself, maybe, this is not for me?
Yeah. Because at first we didn't start with this. We started with the biogas.
Okay.
And at some point it was not working. So I felt like it's not worth it. It consumed a lot of time.
A lot of my time.
Yeah,
let me just give up.
And after all, it's not working. So let me just give up. But then also we talked to some of our teachers and they inspired us not to give up. We should come up with something really innovative, something we can put our thoughts into.
So can you demonstrate the wind turbine for us?
Manjan, can you hold this?
Let's see how it works. Wow.
So as the propeller works, it's supposed to generate electricity for us. Unfortunately, we couldn't get enough wires to connect it into the house, but we have lights in there. So as the propeller turns, it's supposed to generate electricity for the house. Actually,
wow.
Just one thing, I like the design.
Yeah,
it's like a house.
Beautiful.
Who came up with the design? How long did you spend thinking about how to design the house? So how you did?
Yes, the program is Wisdom, but we also have like really creative boys in our school. So we had to bring them together. They have to also bring in their ideas. So some boys also came up with this. They came up with the idea. So we provided materials and we all worked together in building it.
That's it. So here the idea really is for everybody. Government does what it does, but for us ordinary citizens, when we build our houses, integrate renewable energy into our whole concept, into our whole thinking, isn't it? Yes. That's really the idea.
Yeah.
Yes, brilliant.
Brilliant, absolutely. I'm inspired, really, and I wish I could partake in this competition.
Welcome.
Really?
You'll just have to register to one of and join one of the high schools, I guess.
Yes,
Do you want to go back to school?
I guess I'll wait for the tertiary one. So, finally, before we take a leave of you, what do you want to be after school?
Okay. Ever since I was young, I've always wanted to become a doctor.
A doctor?
Yes. My dad is asthmatic, and anytime I see him struggle, I always want to.
Sorry about that.
I just want to grow up, become this doctor that can cure my dad. Yeah, he uses the inhaler, which is really bad. So I wanted to become a doctor. But growing up now, just like Auntie Janke, I've developed liking for research. Yeah, research scientist. I have a sister at MRC working with Auntie Janke. She is a research scientist. She's a research scientist, and I've been to MRC 1 or 2 times, and I've seen the work she does, and I think I'm developing liking for that.
For that.
Yeah, research scientist. After all, even if I become a doctor, I will not be able to invent a cure. But if I become a research scientist, I can make research, and know how to invent a cure for my dad.
We're seeing a lot of them. A lot of research is going on, you know, vaccination. Even our neighboring country, Senegal, they're really coming up with that. So I think it's a very important field, and we wish you all the best. Yeah.
What she wants?
Yeah. What?
Go on.
Actually, I want to become a neurosurgeon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We have a few of them here.
Because I've realized that in the Gambia, we have little or less of them here. And most of our old people grow up having mental problems with their head. You know, though at first I wanted to be a nurse, like curing people, but now I want to become a neurosurgeon. And with the help of the researchers, I think we will do well.
Yeah, definitely. I am optimistic, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
I know that you have a brighter future. Considering what I'm seeing right now, I'm really inspired, really. It takes a lot of creativity to actually put some of these things together. Coming back to you, this is really important and inspiring. It takes a lot. Was there any point that you think, okay, maybe, just maybe, we don't have the talent, or we don't have what it takes to actually create something innovative in this country? Do you ever have doubts?
No. Gambians are very, very smart people. And I think if we do things like this, it will encourage others with talents to come out. We're very, very smart people. So we hope that other young people will come out and do amazing things, and one day we might hear them receiving a Nobel Prize. Who knows?
That's it. So perhaps the question will be here, how competitive were the entries? How interesting were they, the ones you received?
So what we did was, we have school chapters. Maybe Kodu can talk more about that. So we have school chapters. We decided to go into the schools, get these young girls, and form clubs. So I'm the chapter lead for Marina International. We've got another Wisdom member who is the chapter lead for Methodist. We've got one in St. Peter's. We recently integrated one at the Gambia College, I think.
Gambia College.
Yeah, so we're expanding, and we want to do this throughout the Gambia, hopefully, inshallah. So we want to get as many young kids on board as we can. We want to give them the guidance, the support, the advice on career pathways, and hopefully it will make a change in the future of Gambian women.
Who sponsored this competition?
Q Group.
The Q Group.
Yeah.
Q Group is
the
part of our
mighty Q Group.
sponsors. And
They have been sponsoring from the onset.
Okay.
Yes. As Auntie Jenke mentioned, Sister Jenke mentioned, we have what we call girls in STEM clubs in senior secondary schools and tertiary institutions. So with the girls in STEM clubs, we have what we call chapter leaders and chapter members. These are professionals from WeSTEM who will manage those schools. So we have also a program outlined for each school. Each time there is a program they should partake in. The first one is research. The second one is a panel discussion and a STEM fair. A STEM fair where they will exhibit their projects and people will come around and watch what they have done. And WeSTEM, we also have another program called National STEM Fair we want to partake in next year. So, and another one called Award Night. We're going to award the best projects and the best students from any of the institutions. We are. Yeah.
When is that going to be?
Next year. We plan it for February. Yeah.
February.
Yes.
So thank you very much for coming, Kodu and Yajanke.
Thank you.
It's really nice to have you here, really, to talk about this very important thing. And I'm not surprised that the Q Group sponsored it. Consider Auntie Nene, if anyone who knows her knows that she's very, very passionate about STEM and women in STEM in general. So thank you.
Brilliant woman.
Exactly. So thank you very much for coming. Viewers, we will take a short commercial break. When we return, the program continues. To stay tuned.
Thank you.
Now, with QCell's 5G network, experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply. QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
Looking for internet for your free videos, pictures, chats, work, and school projects? Think free night browsing. QCell's free night browsing lets you browse the internet for free. Oh yeah. Get a data SIM, recharge a minimum of $500 and enjoy free browsing after 24 hours from midnight to 6 a.m. every night for 30 days. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. It's happy time. Get 50% off all calls to any network. Enjoy calls every day to any network from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Is it too good to be true? QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back, and now we have come to the last segment of this program, and we have Bintu Trawale. Bintu Trawale happens to be the only trained orthopedic technician in the Gambia, having graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Health Technology, specializing in traumatology from the University of Medical and Allied Sciences in Cuba. I'm really inspired. This morning with Aida Fane, I'm just having brilliant women. And Bintu, like I said, I thought Nessa biography, I was like, she's old. But I'm really surprised to know that you're very young. So good morning to you.
Good morning, and
Welcome
thank you for inviting me.
You're most welcome.
Yes.
So Bintu, take us through your journey, really.
This started when I graduated from high school. So the same year I got a scholarship from the Office of the President to study in Cuba. So amongst the courses that were listed, you have different specialties. But there was just this one thing that just caught my eye. It says orthopedic. But by that time, I didn't know what orthopedic was, but I had a little dictionary. So I went to the corner and checked orthopedic. It deals with bones, traumas, and it was like kind of excited. And I said, okay, this is what I want.
You want to do?
Yes. So I chose that, and I went to study that in Cuba.
It was only after grade 12 that you decided on what to do?
No, I was a science student.
Okay.
So I wanted to be a doctor and specialized in obs and gynae. So I wanted to be a gynecologist.
Yes.
That was what I wanted initially. Yeah.
So what really inspired you to actually join this field?
We have a lot of accidents, especially in the developing countries. So and also you have doctors and nurses. Growing up, when you ask people what do you want to be, they say I want to be a doctor and I want to be a nurse. I am an orthopedic technician. I am neither a doctor and I am not a nurse. When you go to EFSTH, they'll be calling me Dr. Bintu, or Bintu Orthopedic. That's what they would say, but I am not a doctor.
You're not a doctor.
No, yeah.
Ah.
So I think this is a speciality that I think each and every country should also have, because the doctors cannot do it all, the nurses cannot do it all. Yeah, so the inspiration that I had was just the rate of accidents, road traffic accidents that we have. So people break their bones. Either they go for bone setters or they go to the hospital. So some of them also come with complications. So if you get the right treatment at the right time, it actually helps. Yeah.
So that's it. I wonder. So tell us, what does an orthopedic technician do?
Okay, it's a whole list of things that you do. So it has stages. So the bachelor degree that I have, you will be able to do non-operative treatment of fractures. Yeah. So when there is a fracture patient that comes to you, if it's a simple fracture, obviously, you will be able to manage it. So you see the patient from the start. If it requires a plaster, you apply a plaster, then do follow-ups with x-rays, then you're able to treat it. When the fracture becomes complicated or it's advanced, then you have to send it over to the orthopedic surgeon. So that is how we are trained to work. But unfortunately, when I came back home, there was none. I couldn't have my team. So I had to work alongside with the orthopedic surgeon. So wherever the orthopedic surgeon goes, I go. This includes theater, clinic, at the accidents and emergencies, and the wards too. Yeah.
So what does it take to become an orthopedic technician?
You have to be a science student, obviously. Yeah, so that was part of the requirements, that you have to credit some of the science subjects. That those were some of the requirements to be able to join the university. Yeah.
But aside from the subjects and being a science student, what more? What does it really take to be a successful orthopedic technician?
In all walks of life, you have to be dedicated, hardworking, and you have to also love what you're doing. So I've been working in the field for 10 years now, and if I did not love what I am doing, I don't think I'll be able to make it. So you have to be able to work, to love what you're doing, and you have to be determined too. Yeah, so if you are determined, you can achieve so many things. So those are some of the things. You have to be hardworking and determined.
Okay. So you're also pursuing your master's, and you're conducting a survey on the opinions of health workers in Africa towards traditional bone setting.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Okay. So like I mentioned, people have the freedom to choose whatever treatment they want. You have a fracture, either it is due to an accident or maybe it is a fall from height, you get a fracture. So if you have a fracture, you decide whether you want to go to the hospital to get conventional treatment or you want to go to the local bone setters. So I've not worked with bone setters, but I've had so many complications that come to the hospital. People that venture into bone setter and it does not work. And they come with complications, and we at the hospital level have to deal with those complications. So initially I was kind of upset about the choices that people make, but later on with the public health I realized that people have rights, so they can choose whatever they want. So the reason why I went into that survey was to know what the orthopedic surgeons think, what the health workers think. Then I would want to know what the people, normal people, think. Yeah. Then we see how we can collaborate together, because bone setter treatment is something that you cannot eradicate from the Gambia or in Africa. Yeah.
Yes, that's an interesting remark there. You'll be surprised what time can do. Of course, people have rights, but they do not always quite have good argument on their side. You see, having rights, that's easy.
Yeah.
Absolutely, no demands there. So here, what I'm trying to bring in here is for you to kind of perhaps think about being an advocacy group.
Yep.
This particular method is superior to that one, and we're going to be putting it in the starkest form because of reasons A, B, C, and D. There is some kind of migration, it's just very slow, from traditional ways of doing things to modern ways of doing things. Everywhere in the world had to go through that process. Perhaps we are in the middle of that.
Yeah.
So that advocacy role is really very important
It is.
for people to really understand sort of the scientific facts, as it were, behind what you do.
That is very true. That is
What
very
does it take really to be the only or one of the few orthopedic technicians in the Gambia?
It is challenging because you tend to do so many other people's work. So you'll be doing doctor's work and you'll also be doing nurses' work. So it's just so overwhelming. Wherever you're needed, you just rush there. Okay, I need to do this, you just rush there. So it's just one person having to do so many things. At the same time, it can be really exhausting. Yeah, so that's why I'm advocating for my own team. And this is something that I also put through to the hospital and to the ministry too. So I would need my own group so that we will train more orthopedic technicians in country. It doesn't even have to be outside. So when we have these, it's not just EFSTH that will benefit from it, but other hospitals will also benefit from it, because I don't think it's fair for you to have all the good specialties in one hospital. So we just have to separate them. And when that happens, trauma patients will also be managed adequately. Because you have all the specialties in Banjul, EFSTH. So if you have a fractured patient, let's say at Bansang, there is no one that is treating that patient. So you refer the patient all the way to Banjul. But when you have orthopedic technicians in all those main hospitals, they will be able to do something. And some of these patients will not even need referrals.
That's why I asked earlier, like, what does it take? Because I'm surprised to know that, like, the whole country is just one or few people who are into this field. So that's why I was, like, curious to know, what does it really take, you know, to have only one or few?
Well, for some of us, we are not surprised, really. Let's be realistic about ourselves. But maybe I'll be interested to know, do you find that you inspire all the women who ask you stuff about your job so that they want to be in, perhaps students, girls? Do you find interest from women or girls about being in orthopedics, at least?
Actually, it's just few women and more of men, because it's a man job. Well, they call it a man job, but women also venture into it. And I love what I'm doing, and I'm a woman. So sometimes when you have to, let's say for example, a patient falls down and breaks a wrist, it's all deformed, and you need to pull it back together and reduce the fracture. So sometimes when you have the patient, then they say, okay, nañ also my boss mu ñëw. And they look at me, it's like, okay, this small person is going to reduce this fracture. And so, and I actually reduce it and get it to near perfection, and the patient walks away happy. So it's all about technique and not just power. So I am just advocating for women that they should go into this field also. It's quite interesting. So it's not something that just needs a man job.
It's not rocket science.
It's not rocket science. It's just technique.
No, for me, the curious thing that you've mentioned there is this idea of a gendered branches of medicine. In some areas, you expect women to be in it. Obs and gynae, that's obstetrics and gynecology. You'll see them there. But when it comes to dealing with the bone, you need the men to be there.
And that demotivation I also got when I was doing my language before starting the course. Someone saw me, and one of the doctors there saw me and said, "What are you going to study?" I told him orthopedics. He said, "You? Orthopedic? You're so small, how could you pull a bone?" So I was like, okay, did I make a mistake? Did I make a wrong choice? But when I went into the field, I realized that there are so many other interesting things. And it's not just fractures that we deal with. We also deal with orthopedic deformities. So you have children that are born with deformities of the foot. And those are the ones that can also easily be corrected with plaster of Paris, commonly known as TABA. Everyone knows it as TABA. So these are the deformities that could also be treated with casting, and the orthopedic technician can do that.
You're now currently undergoing a training in Boyam.
Yes, the training is actually over.
It's over now?
Yes.
Wow, okay. Tell us about that.
So we are dealing with prosthetic limbs. So we are dealing with amputees that have lost their limbs due to illnesses, or it could be also road traffic accidents. So we manufacture limbs for them. So it's called the Jaipur Limb Technology. So this is the only project in the Gambia, and it's based at Buyam General Hospital currently. So currently we are giving 50 limbs for free. People are already making their limbs and taking it away for free. But later on, obviously, charges will be put in place. So we deal with patients that have been amputated either below the knee or above the knee, and we provide limbs for them.
For free at Buyam, right?
At the moment, yes.
At the moment, just Buyam.
Buyam General Hospital, yeah.
Okay.
So as you are aware, social welfare was the only one that was making artificial limbs. Yeah, and it's so overwhelming. The whole country depends on them. Anytime that you need a limb, you have to travel all the way to Banjul to get it. So this new technology, it's a different one. It's called the Jaipur limb, and it is lightweight. Yeah, so it is pipes that we use to manufacture the prosthetic limbs.
So what's the way forward in the Gambia as far as orthopedic is it's concerned?
Well, training is part of the plans. We have to train more people because you cannot have the population is growing. Gambia is not the same number. Yeah, so we need more specialists. So I am just advocating for my own self. I don't know whether it is selfish or what, but I need more orthopedic technicians.
Well,
yes, and I also spoke. The ministry is aware, and I'm sure they are going to support me. Yeah, so that we will train more orthopedic technicians. And even now that I am into this prosthetics manufacturing, this is also something that we need to centralize it and take it back to the provinces too.
Some more?
Yes. The gender element, do you feel a sense of being a role model, and how do you feel about that? Because these days, we've got this gender agenda, if I can put it that way, so anybody we see who is quite successful, particularly in STEM, we put you up as a role model. What is it? How do you feel that you're being seen now as a role model? What else? What does it put any pressure on you? Does it make you think that, oh, I have to be in a certain way? What effect does it have on you?
I must say it actually doesn't, surprisingly. Yeah, because since I started working, I've been surrounded by males. So I've not felt left out or been treated in such a way as in I'm a female. So I've not had that. So I cannot say that, okay, I feel pressured or I feel like, okay, I have this issue because I'm the only woman. No. So I've always been part of the family. I've always been, I call it orthopedic is like a family. Yeah, so I am part of the orthopedic family. So I've never been left out or maybe treated specially because I'm a woman. No. So I don't even feel the difference, the gender difference. I don't feel that in my work environment.
Thank you very much.
Are we done?
Yeah, we are. I'm afraid this is all we got time for, Mr. Mboy. Thank you very much, Bintu, for coming.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We wish you all the best in your quest to train more people.
Thank you.
In the orthopedic, to be orthopedic technicians in the Gambia, because we really need a lot of people actually to deal with these things. Mr. Mboy, until we come.
Yes, that's it. We're done for this week, aren't we? This morning is done for this week. So until next week, everybody.
We will let go of you to go work on your African News Roundup. Viewers, this is all we got time for. Do join us again next week for another edition of this morning program. Bye-bye.